Dear students, today I will explain an algebraic another chapter sets in the 10th class standard. Generally we will use sets in general way. What is that in English? We can use that set of books, set of pens, set of things. Here in algebra in mathematics, what they have given for the definition of a set, we will define that. First we will go with the definition of a set. What is a set? So set is nothing but a well-defined collection of objects is called a set. Generally collections, there will be so many collections, collection of pens, collection of books, collection of persons like that. But what is meant by well-defined collection? It is nothing but a distinguish between the objects in that collection. That means what it says that whether that object belong to that collection or doesn't belong to the collection defines. That's why it is called well-defined. I will explain in more detail what is well-defined. So if you go through that, an example, there will be some competitions in our school as well. So if you take a singing or essay competition, whatever the competition, they will ask the different names as division of juniors and seniors. So the juniors group, those who had given the names in juniors group will not be for seniors, and seniors group will not be for the juniors. That means we can say that person belongs to either juniors or seniors. Particularly, we have clearly mentioned that is nothing but well defined. So this is the way what is well defined collection and what is not a well defined collection. And we'll say that well defined collection is nothing but a set. So we'll say that what is the difference between set and a collection with some examples. All collections never be sets. The collection should be well defined. So we can see how we can understand this concept in detail. So if I take a collection of interesting channels of your house members, so in your house maybe so many parents will be there and cousins will be there. That is will not be well defined because the kids may watch channels of some Cartoon Network and parents will see the channels of interesting channels of news and all. So that is not common. If I take a collection of interesting channels, it cannot be common for all. So if it is not common for all, we know that it is not well defined collection. Some interesting novels, some interesting books, interesting things, some if you add some even numbers, some odd numbers, it is not well defined. If you add some to that, it is not well defined because some means we have whoever take whatever he want, so it is not well defined. Well defined means it should be common for all. So to have a clear thing about that common rule, we have given another definition for the set as follows. A set is a collection of things that have something in common or follow a rule. So that should be common for all the things in that set and they should follow a rule. So set is always denoted by the braces, flower braces, and represented with capital letters only. A set represents with only capital letters, not lowercase. And the objects in the set are called elements. These are all always represented with small letters. And next, in types of sets, very important set is empty or null or void set. What is an empty set? The set which contains no elements in it. No elements in it means it doesn't contain at least one element. It's space. It's nothing should be here. That means, for example, I will give you that the persons whose age is 150 in your house will be no. So it is an empty set. And one more example, the persons who has 3 heads in your village. Is it possible? No. So these are the set which doesn't have any elements. If it contains at least one element, if it contains a 0, for example, this is not an empty set. Why? Because this set contains an element 0. So it is not an empty set. So we should not contain any elements. See this example, the persons whose age is 150 years. So no person will be there. That is called null set. But here, how you can ask me, how many members that crosses 100 in your house, 0 members. So it is not null set. It is a set containing 0. That is the difference between the set containing 0 and null set. And null set is always denoted by the symbol pi. This is the symbol for null set. So now we can say how we can represent the sets. We can represent the sets in two ways. That is, one is set builder form and another one is roster form. So in set builder form, what we can do is writing that common property in the set. So we will have some common property. Already we have mentioned that they should follow some common rule. Now I will give an example here. X is a letter in the word corona. So here X is a letter in the word corona means what is the rule that set have, that elements of that set have, those should be letters in that word. So I have to take only that. If you write the rule, that is called set builder form. So second form is roster form. Roster form is nothing but writing all the elements in the set as known as roster form. Writing all the elements in the set means, for example, if you take the above, X is a letter in the word corona. What are the letters in that? C, A, R, O, N. We need not to repeat the letter again in the set. In the set format, we need not to repeat the letter again in the set. So I have write A only once. So this is called roster form. So roster form is nothing but a list form. If you go to the market, whatever the vegetables you want to buy, brinjals, tomato, ladyfinger, if you write all that as a list, that is called roster form. Otherwise, if your mom says that bring some vegetables is nothing but set builder form. So some vegetables means you have to bring only vegetables, not fruits or all. So roster form means you have to ask the list to what you will ask your mom, what I have to bring. So that is called roster form. This is the simple thing between these two. And just representation with the diagrams also we will here. And about one more important concept in set, Venn diagram. So in sets we will use the Venn diagram. What is Venn diagram means? It's nothing but any shape, that means rectangle. In that we can use that circles even. Now I want to explain a topic about subset in this Venn diagrams. Already you know about very well about natural numbers and whole numbers and integers. You know whole numbers and real numbers. We know that natural numbers starts with 1, 2, 3 and so on. Whole number starts with 0, 1, 2, 3 and so on. So what you will use is, we know that all natural numbers are in whole numbers. So natural number set contained in whole. So all whole numbers, these are all numbers, so contained in real numbers. So that means it's nothing but all natural numbers are whole numbers, all whole numbers are real numbers. This set, is rectangular box, contains the universal set. For example, if you take your family and if you are asking the things about your family will be the universal set. If you are talking about the village will be the universal set. If you're talking about your school will be the universal set. The top set will be, superset will be the universal set. So now I want to explain about subset here. So what is a subset? So that is the symbol for we will use for subset. So subset is nothing but if A is subset of B, if and only if every element of A is also an element of B. Similarly, if B is a subset of A, if and only if every element of B is also an element of A. That means all the elements of A should be elements of B. All the elements of B should be elements of A. That means whatever the elements we have in A, those should be in B. It is not necessary that B should not contain any other elements. It can contain, but it must contain all the elements of A. Similarly, A must contain all the elements of B. A may contain more than the elements that B had. That's no problem. But whatever the elements in B should be in A. Whatever the elements of A should be in B. Then only we can say that those two are subsets. So now another thing is, if two conditions are possible as well as if A is subset of B and B is subset of A. What is that means? All the elements of A are in B, all the elements of B are in A. Then we can say that A equal to B. You can ask me, what is A equal to B? Two sets are equal. How we can define the two sets are equal? It's nothing but two sets are equal when and only when all the elements of two sets are equal. Simple. All the elements means I will go with an example. A equal to 1, 2, 3 and B equal to 2, 1, 3. You can ask me here. Sir, here 2, 1, 3 is here 1, 2, 3 is there and here 2, 1, 3 is there. In roster form, while writing the list, while writing the elements, its order is not important. While you are purchasing vegetables in the market, if you write first tomatoes and then brinjals and then ladyfingers, if I write first ladyfingers and then brinjals and then tomatoes, is anything happens? No. There is no problem in order. All the elements in these two sets are equal or not one, so we have to check only those two. Those elements are equal, hence these two sets said to be equal. Now, if I go with these two sets 1, 2, 3 and ABC, these two sets are not equal. Why? Because elements are not equal, number is equal but elements are not equal. And how can we write the subset of a set? So if I go with an example, write the subsets of C is equals to set of 1, 4, 9. So here I can write P of C. P of C is nothing but power set of C. I can explain then. Power set of C means the set containing all subsets of the set. So I will write now the subsets. Observe here. The first subset is pi. Pi is subset of every set. We have to write the pi as a subset. And the every set is a subset of itself. So I have to write C again. And now I'll take a set containing 1. Yeah, it's a subset of C. Set containing 4. Subsets of C. Set containing 9. Subset of C. Once you observe, I will move forward only. I will not go backward. That means first I will take 1, 4, 9 and then I will take 1, 4 and then 1, 9. I should not take backwards and finally 4, 9. By using this logic you can apply for the set containing 3 or more elements even. So here the set contains all the subsets of a set is known as power set. We can say how many elements in the power set. So if you observe, if a set contains n elements, then the power set contains 2 power n elements. Once you observe here, 3 elements C contains. Here, how many we got in power set? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, which is nothing but 2 cube. That means these elements are nothing but subsets of C. So if a set have n elements, we'll have 2 power n subsets. And we will discuss in detail some problems, some operations in sets in next video. Thank you.